What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Everyday Discipline, where we decode, deconstruct, and reverse engineer self-discipline for you to get whatever it is you want in your life. My name is Brent Kokel. I am your host. As always, love it when you guys are here on the show with me. You mind if I just get right into it today? No preamble or any of that shit. Just get straight into it. That's good because that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I had a live event with some clients last week. It was a 2-day live event. We went through a whole bunch of stuff in that. One of the things that I was talking to them about is this model that I've been working on for a while, which is the ultimate ability to have success in any area of your life. And we were looking at this in the context of business. And basically picture it, there's a couple different components in it that I won't share with you here because obviously it's a client thing, but I'm going to share with you the basic framework of this and then something that is really critical as it relates to a fundamental skill that you need to have in order to be successful inside of your business. So picture this model like a ladder, and up like a ladder that is like an extension ladder. And on one side of the ladder, like one tall side of the ladder, you've got traits. And on the other side of the ladder, you've got beliefs. So the traits are things that are true about you that you have. Beliefs are things that you believe to be true about yourself. And then in the middle is these rungs of the ladder. And inside of each one of those rungs is a bunch of skills. Now, the idea here is that to climb as high as you can on the ladder, everything needs to match up. So you can only climb so high when you've got all the traits but only a few of the beliefs. You can only climb as high as your limiting belief. Or if you've got all the traits and all the beliefs, but you don't have the skills, then you can only climb as high as your lowest level skill. So if you've got all the traits, all the beliefs, and all the skills, then you wind up being able to climb as high as you possibly can when it comes to you earning money. And I'll put together a video of the training. Obviously, I'll delete some parts that will just be client stuff only, but I'll show you guys this entire model and I'll post it on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you're an audio only listener and you don't follow the YouTube channel, just search my name on YouTube, Brent Kokel. I put out 5 videos a week. Some of them are this podcast where you can actually see me talking about this stuff, but then I also put together several other videos as well each week. So tons of content over there designed to be like actual valuable shit that you can actually use in your life. So if you don't subscribe to the YouTube channel, head over to YouTube and search my name, subscribe to my channel, and we will get it on over there. So in any event, one of the skill sets in this ladder is communication. Communication is a core piece of a skill set. And one of my clients says, hey, I don't feel like I'm a really good communicator. I feel like I need to be better at that. And so I gave him an example of this. We walked outside, and outside of the venue where we were, there was an entryway that was a walkway from the sidewalk up to the front of the building. Now, this was about 40 feet long. But inside of that 40 feet, there were 6 different pillars. And on the bottom of these pillars, there was like a concrete base. And then the pillar itself was made out of bricks. And then on top of the pillar, there was stone that held this black cauldron that had lava rocks in it. And at night, there would be fire coming out of these. There were 6 of them, and it was 30 feet long, and it was 20 feet wide. So picture a big rectangle, and there are 6 of these pillars. Not each pillar was that wide. It was like that was the whole structure. So 6 pillars covered 30 feet long by 20 feet wide. And in between each one of these pillars, there was a planter box. And the planter box had some shrubs in it and stuff, but then it also had electrical in it because there were puddle lights down to illuminate the walkway in between the pillars. And you can picture this as you're walking up to the building. And so I talked to him about this whole thing. And say, listen, what I need you to do is I need you to build me 6 different pillars that are going to be 30 feet long and 20 feet wide. Each pillar's got to be 5.5 feet tall. The bottom of it's concrete. The middle of it is brick. The top of it is stone. So you can put this cauldron on it that has lava rocks in it that's going to shoot fire out the top of it at night. So those need to be plumbed for natural gas. In between each one of those things, I need a planter that's going to have some shrubs. It needs to have drip irrigation to the shrubs, and it needs to have electrical for the puddle lights that are going to go through so people can see the base walkway as they're going through it. Are you clear on all of this? And he looks at me and he shakes his head yes. So he shakes his head yes, and if you're watching me right now on YouTube, you know that shaking your head yes means I have no idea what you just said. This happens with my children all the time, where I go to them and I say, all right, guys, listen, your job right now is to go make your bed, brush your teeth, get ready for school. And they go, yeah, Dad, we got it. And they run off. 30 seconds later, I go check it out. Do you think either of them are making their beds? No, they're playing. They're doing something else. The same thing happens. Communication is not about what you say. It's about what someone else hears. That's the lesson in today's episode. I'll repeat it just in case you didn't catch it. Communication is not about what you say. It's about what somebody else hears. So as I'm telling my client, this is what I need you to build. Here's the pillars, here's the planters, this is the dimensions, this is everything that you need. I say, do you have it? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I said, okay, great, repeat it back to me. And he repeats back kind of what I said, but not really what I said. There's a few things that he missed. He missed the fact that the planters needed to have electrical in them because there was going to be puddle lights on that. He also missed the height of the pillars. He thought they needed to be 6.5 feet when they needed to be 5.5 feet. So there's a change in this. When it comes to communication, recognizing that it has nothing to do with what you say. It has everything to do with what the other person hears, what they understand. And the best way to do that is to get them to repeat it back to you. Now when I go to my kids and I say, listen, what I need you guys to do is I need you to go make your bed, brush your teeth, and then get dressed for school. What are you doing? Okay, Dad, we're going to go make our bed, we're going to brush our teeth, and we're going to get ready for school. Okay, awesome. Which one are you doing second? Brushing our teeth. Okay, great. Which one are you doing third? Getting ready for school. Okay, great. What's the first thing that you're going to do? We're going to make our bed. Got it. Now you can go. Now you can go. Because I know that they're clear. It wasn't anything about what I said. It was about them understanding and hearing what I said. So anytime you find yourself where somebody, it seems like they're just not listening, they're not paying attention, they're not doing what you asked them to do, it could be because of this very principle. You think you're communicating clearly, you're enunciating, you're planning it out, you're thoughtful, and you say, this is it, this is what needs to happen, and it still doesn't get done. It's because you're thinking that communication is about what you say. It's not about what the other person hears. So the simple tactic on this is like, what are you hearing me say? You give a command or give a direction to whoever you're doing it to. Hey, what did you just hear me say? And have them repeat it back to you and then course correct them. It's the simplest way to go about it. Here's some sage advice when it comes to this from a Navy SEAL friend of mine that I've been working with for about 2 years, training me on a few things. And he says this, he says, if I tell you once and you don't do it, then it's my fault because I clearly didn't do a good job of communicating it to you. If I tell you twice and you don't do it, still my fault because I didn't clearly communicate the importance of doing it. If I tell you 3 times and you still don't do it, it's your fault because you're too fucking stupid to listen to it the first 2 times. Sage advice from a Navy SEAL. But it fits into what we're talking about here, which is that if I tell you once and you don't do it, it's my fault because I didn't communicate it clearly. That doesn't mean I didn't say it clearly. I didn't communicate it clearly. There's a difference between saying it and communicating it. And the only way you're going to know if you communicated it clearly is if the other person that you're talking to or the group of people that you're talking to repeats it back to you specifically. Right? And I did this same thing at an event that I ran a few months ago, where we had t-shirts made up for the event. One day was blue, one day was gray. And so when I handed out the blue t-shirts, I said, what t-shirts are we wearing today? And I made everybody say blue. And say, okay, great, we're wearing blue t-shirts today. What color t-shirts are we wearing today? Blue. Awesome. What color t-shirts are we wearing tomorrow? Gray. Okay, what color is today? It's blue. What color are we wearing tomorrow? It's gray. Okay, are you sure we're wearing gray t-shirts tomorrow? Yes, we're wearing gray t-shirts tomorrow. Are you 100% positive that you're supposed to wear gray t-shirts tomorrow? Yes. What color t-shirts are you wearing tomorrow? Gray. Perfect. We all understand. This might sound extreme. It might sound extreme, and in that case, it was, because the t-shirt's pretty easy to get. But it's about practicing and getting reps at communicating. So practice this. Next time you're communicating with somebody who reports to you, or it could even be with a client, how critical the piece of communication is by getting them to repeat back what you said to make sure that there's absolute clarity. And my bet is that more times than not, you're going to find out that they have no idea what you just said because they're just waiting for their turn to speak, which is different than listening. Talking, communicating, waiting, listening, all these different things. So my call to action for you today in today's episode is just to practice this. Practice this with somebody inside your organization. If you don't run the show where you work, then practice it with somebody who's below you. And if you don't have somebody below you at your office or your place of work, then do it with a client. And if you don't have a client, do it with your children. If you don't have any children, good luck doing it with your spouse, because it will not go over very well. Believe that from my experience. All right, guys, that's what I want you to do. Take that action within the next 24 to 48 hours, and that'll make sure that it locks into your mind. I wish I could get you to repeat back everything that I just told you, but I can't. So instead, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm asking you to help this get repeated by sharing this episode. If you know somebody that would benefit from hearing this message, somebody that's been struggling getting people to do what they say to do, or they feel like they're not communicating well, share this show with them. All you got to do is a couple taps on your phone. You just share it up, copy the link, text it to whoever needs to get it, and send that thing out to them. It would mean the world to me to have somebody else that you know in your world that needs to hear this message get the opportunity to hear this message. So that's my ask from you guys today. That is it for it, though. I'm going to do my job, guys, and come back next time. I want you to do your job, and you come back too.